Hello everybody, this is Maniac4Bricks, and welcome to Fridays with Maniac4Bricks on a Wednesday. Yeah, I know that the Friday series has been messed up for some time, and I really have no reason to put this up this early or this late in the week. So, when it comes to other video footage, yes, I already recorded some, but they're stuck on a laptop that has a replacing battery that I need to take care of and find out how to replace it, because I'm not tech savvy. This is an idea I came up with from Bricksar. I didn't really come up with it if he already did it, so here we are. But this is something that I thought I could share my experience in a similar way about how my username has changed over time. And that would be something mostly with YouTube. I'm not going to delve into all the other ones I've done through other social media, just the ones that are relevant to this story. So I'm not going to worry about that other stuff about cleaning for right now. I still am worrying about the Philly box. I'm still working through those. Like 2 of them are halfway done, and the other ones are shortly after. So I will get back to that when this video is done and while you're watching it. So let's get to it. When I started making a YouTube account, I wasn't going to make YouTube videos. In fact, it's not even the same YouTube channel that you see here. The original channel was VanPurple09, which since then has changed its name, but if you do find the URL, it will still show up there. And the reason why I made it as that name, 2009 was when I made the account. Van Purple had to do with the combination of Van Halen and Deep Purple, some of my favorite rock bands at the time. And I'm really much into music when it comes to like listening and trying to make playlists and things, so I thought this would be a good fit. Right now, Van Halen and Deep Purple are still my favorite rock bands. I would say Van Halen is my favorite band of any genre, and I still like Deep Purple a lot. But here's the thing. When it came to that account, I used it for liking, commenting, and subscribing to other YouTube channels. I didn't really make videos on there, and one video I made that was supposed to just be shared with a friend wasn't really supposed to be like a hit for everyone, or a reason to subscribe to the channel, or anything like that. It was just me using YouTube to keep up with other YouTubers I liked. So, sometime later, I actually lost the account. I lost the password for it, because back then I didn't auto sign in, or I didn't sign in auto, as much as, other times. So, I had to type in the username and the password every time when I signed in on YouTube. And the problem was, I didn't know where that was. I don't remember what the name was off the top of my head. I didn't know exactly how to reverse that or make a new one. So, at some point, the thing got abandoned. I was like, well, I still want to keep up with different YouTubers, so how do I do that now? And I thought, well, how about I make another channel and have a similar premise to it with a certain number related to, roughly when I made it, or something about me, some number relating to a date. And then have part of it as part of a music, song or artist or something like that. 13 came from the class of 2013. I was going to graduate that year in high school, but I made the account, I think 2010 or 11 or so, somewhere in between there. Then there was 62, which is actually just reverse of 26, and that is part of my birth date, which is January 26, 1995. Then, the middle part. Where would I have come up with Hammer Time as a username? Well, everyone would think of, obviously, MC Hammer's You Can't Touch This, and that's where it basically came from. I wanted to make this one based off of a shuffle of the songs I had on my iTunes account. I had a whole bunch that were, some of them were bought, and some of them were from CDs. I already had music CDs available to import onto my computer. So, I used those to shuffle the songs, and the first couple of them, I would go through, make a username based on the artist or song or something like that, like I did before with VanPurple09. This first song that shuffled was MC Hammer's You Can't Touch This. And I thought, that might actually be pretty funny for a username. And I'm not trying to be funny, but I just thought it was kind of like, it stood out. And for me, I thought this would be something interesting to use. Again, I didn't make YouTube videos at that time. I didn't really think about it back in 2010 or 11. But I thought this one might be something interesting. I could definitely remember this. And I had worked with it so I can make Welcome to 13 Hammer Time 62's Lego set reviews. That jingle would actually come up when I started making Lego videos in 2012. So, like I said, a few years after the channel was made. I tried to incorporate the name into the channel as best as I could. And it kind of worked, but it kind of didn't. Like, it worked for that jingle because rhythmatically it was good. And what about other things? What about if I want to make things that are not YouTube? What about things that aren't Lego reviews? What if I want to build other stuff? So I eventually came up with Welcome to 13 Hammer Time 62's mocks and how-tos. Back then, I put the umbrella of mocks and how-tos together since I didn't do them too frequently to separate as their own things. Like, Welcome to 13 Hammer Time 62's mocks, Welcome to 13 Hammer Time 62's how-tos. And obviously for the jingle it didn't work, but it was something that was like, okay, I'm only going to build this and make videos on this once in a while, so kind of both. And usually the how-tos were about my mocks. Like, I would create my own stuff and show how to build this in some way. Back then, I did get a mention or two from The Brick Show, one of the channels that got me into making Lego videos, when I reported news of the Lego TMNT sets coming in 2013. I was big into that. I was really hyped for that idea. I didn't really have pictures or anything, but I saw it on another source, I think Bricks it might have been, and they did mention me by 13 Hammer Time 62 in their video. Probably link it up here in the description or something. One of my first shoutouts, I would think, on YouTube. And maybe a little time before the face reveal that I had. So, there you go. It's all ancient history now, because it's like 6 years, 5 years later. But anywho, as far as the username went, at some point, I was like, you know what, this isn't really working. And I want to have, if I was already making more regular Lego YouTube content. So I wanted to make something that was more Lego related when it came to the name. I already had a name from a long time before making either of these channels for Maniac4Legos. That's originally preceding what I did when it came to watching and commenting YouTube regularly as a channel. So, thanks to my dad for coming up with the username, because this was something I developed when I was making an early email, and Maniac4Legos was part of that username. So, other than that, I decided to work with it, make a new channel name with the same channel. Like, this channel here is still 13 Hammer Time 62. It eventually became Maniac4Legos. And then, sometime after that, not really much in between happened when it came to thinking about the username that much. I don't remember exactly how much I used it with an intro or jingle or whatever, since this was a time where I would make some custom intros. Custom. It's mostly a template that I typed my name into. Bam! And there it is. And, yeah, very amateur. So, a lot of times I don't even remember saying something specific when I started a video, because that would show Maniac4Lego or Maniac4Legos at that time. Then I just kind of jump right into the video afterwards. So, it was a little bit disconnected with the audience, but, I worked on it since then. And then there was a period where a bunch of YouTube channels were changing their names so that they could take Lego out of the username. And this wasn't something that they were told specifically by the Lego group to do, but this was something that was kind of frowned upon. And that also goes with adding a Lego logo into your profile picture, because it's their brand, they have it trademarked, that's what the little R in the circle means, and I'm sure there'll be a pinned comment up here or something about Bricksour's video, which discusses this better than I do. And there was a whole bunch of channels that changed their name as a result. So, Lego Jang became Jang Bricks. Or Lego4Chris became Bricks4Chris. And I just happened to have the same thing with the 4 in the middle of the name, Maniac4Lego. So I followed suit, and I changed mine to Maniac4Bricks. And here we are. So, as far as the channel name, it hasn't really, evolved too much, but it still had some interesting things to it. Like, why would I stick with Maniac as part of my name? Why would that be something to represent me? Like, when you think of Maniac, you either think of the Flashdance movie, or you think of, someone clinically insane. Like, usually tied it to the end of a word or something. So why would Maniac be something I would want people to know me as, or sometimes call me? So, I felt like when it came to making content on YouTube, I was very amateur, and I still am to a degree. Like, check out the lighting in here, for an example. And I never fully get things done consistently or in a proper order or fashion. It gets done eventually, but it may not be the cleanest way. I just try to do whatever I can and branch out to different things. So I thought Maniac was a suitable name as kind of just a self-roast. Like, just a soft way of saying, look, you're going to get all kinds of stuff here. You're not going to expect it to be like, it's going to be all over the place. It's crazy. Maniac, you know? Kind of following in that suit. Also, it had to do with the early years that I was into Lego. Like, back in the 90s, a lot of things were mania or maniacal or maniac related. Not just for Lego, but definitely a bunch in Lego. For one example, the Lego Mania magazine. This was what they were called back in that age. And it's still something, you know, that I thought was pretty cool. They had Zack the Lego Maniac in the 80s, but they did also have this Lego Maniac that I grew up knowing. So I thought that would be fitting for me to have Maniac4Legos or Maniac4Bricks as my username, because I grew up in the 90s. I still like a lot of the 90s Lego stuff and that style of building. I still like the modern ones, don't get me wrong. They're way better and more structurally intact. But when it comes to me building MOCs, I don't always build as to the caliber of what is out there nowadays. I usually build something that would be more reminiscent of a 90s version of it. I think even people have said that before in my videos. And I'm okay with it. So this was the idea that I stuck with, and I still like it as the username. I don't really see myself changing it anytime in the future. I could probably hold on to this for a long time. And I've actually branched off of it for a few other things. Well, some of you may know me, Maniac4Memes, you know, that was something that came up more recently because, hey, I like my memes. Always good for just a quick laugh or something. Even if I watched it dozens and dozens of times. And, you know, there are other things that came up before then when it came to Maniac4Blank. Like, there was Joe the Maniac, which was actually VanPurple09. I changed the channel a bit after I got a new password for it. And Joe the Maniac became my place for all kinds of content not related to Lego, a little more personal, but also, you know, other interests I had. TVs, music, movies, video games, that kind of stuff was supposed to be on that channel. So that's where Maniac4Toys and Maniac4Games, that stuff originated. And I eventually brought it over to this channel because managing two channels is not easy. And especially if you're going to do videos on them. Like if you do live streams on the other channel, sure, that's not too hard. There was Maniac4Bricks Extras, which originally was Maniac4Bricks Raw, or Maniac4Raw Bricks, or one of those two, based off of Jaystifer, when he had a channel that was Jaystifer or JLN Raw. There was like behind the scenes stuff and extra content that wouldn't normally be on the main channel. I followed the suit of doing a similar thing. Right now it's called Maniac4Bricks More, because Maniac4Bricks Extras, without any hyphens or underscores in there, it just seemed uncomfortable to me. I saw a word in there that wasn't supposed to be there, or not supposed to be interpreted. So, yeah, that's why I changed that. I think it was actually brought up that way through Instagram once or twice before, too. And, I even tried to hyphenate it later on, but I was like, you know what? I think I like Maniac4Bricks more. I think that will fit a little bit better. I don't have dates for all these things, but it was still like how I changed it over time. Also, this is like the 5th take of this video that I've done so far, and in the same day, and I would like to note that at 14:02, welcome to 13 at my time, 62. There we go. So, it's a corny joke. I don't know why I stuck with it. In an earlier take, I mentioned that it would be 13 minutes and 62 seconds in the video, or appear as 14 minutes and 2 seconds. And I mentioned it as a coincidence, but then I just kind of stuck with it with like, yeah, let's work it into the other videos. When it finally goes up, I will mention this. Not that I had to make it a 13-minute video or so. But anywho, you know me. I ramble. So, it's gonna happen. But anywho, that's pretty much how everything went. Maniac4Bricks and Maniac4Games and Maniac4Toys are now all on this channel. This was always been Maniac4Bricks, Maniac4Legos, Maniac4 whatever. 13 hour time 62. It was all here. Like, you can still find through this channel, if you search up 13 hour time 62, this is the channel with that content. I haven't moved it anywhere, and I actually don't mind that some of the older content is still there. It's very cringy, it's very low quality, and it makes me look a lot more nervous than I actually am. Still kind of nervous. It's still more amateur, but, you know, still working on things. That's why I like keeping that stuff up, is because it's a way for me to really look and see how far I'm going from where I started. Like, know your roots, sort of thing. It's a way of me saying, okay, I definitely have worked on X, Y, Z over time. And may I still need improvement with it in all different areas. Again, check out the lighting in this video, for example. But it's at least something that I can say, I feel more comfortable on camera. I can talk to myself or talk to the camera like in person, and I can explain something without too many stutters or too long pauses. It may be debatable, but I feel like there's been an improvement. So I'm happy with how everything's been going with the channel. I'm still going to keep going with it as best as I can. I know that people are going to watch this shortly after meeting me at Philly Brick Fest, and they're going to think, this is the guy? This is the channel? What kind of, why? Well, this is something that I've been still developing over so many years, and I wanted to be sure that, you know, I show myself as I am, and I do things at my own pace. It may not be the proper pace, and I may be maniacal in how everything is set up, but it's still something that I wanted to represent as me, and personality is probably the biggest thing you can have with a YouTube channel. There's still plenty of things I can work on, but they will get worked on over time. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it and that sentimental bit at the end. I'm going to head off now. I'm going to work on some more Philly mocks. One of them actually showing up in the background. I meant to do a video of the mock progress, but it's a bad video. Had a big, like, falling out in it, so I'm going to try to re-record that. Or just show it when it's complete before Philly Brick Fest 2018. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and let me know of your experiences in the comments down below. If it took some time for you to develop a username. For me, you know, Maniac4Bricks has been a staple, and I'm okay with it. And even the Maniac for memes and things like that, I like keeping those around. Like, it's fun to use that in different ways. So, we'll see you next time with more LEGO videos.